nor of the food power of pancit, siomai, and pancit canton, etc. We now have to defend the country, and that should be our main concern. Okay. Now, but they said, but we're not also against the Chinese, we're also against the Americans.
Yes.
Okay, okay naman yan. Okay. What I am going to ask you now is to have an independent foreign policy, girls. Pwede ba yan? Don't forget our 1987 Constitution. What does it say? In the state policies, it says, the state shall pursue an independent foreign policy with national interest, territorial integrity, and sovereignty as the main factors. But nobody pays attention to that. Why? Because we are so afraid to be alone by ourselves. Ay, kailangan natin yung mga Amerikano. Ay, masyadong malakas yung mga inchik. So, can we not stand on our own?
We can. We can.
Okay, even if we have no missiles?
Yes.
Even if we have no soldiers?
Yes.
We will be the soldiers, no. But I tell you, no, I forgot to tell G. I really prepared a PowerPoint, but I forgot all about it. And so I just have this. But if you compare the military capability of the Chinese with the Filipino, talagang nakakatakot. Do not be so scared because we really have nothing compared to them. And really, if you compare what the Indonesians have, the Vietnamese have, the Indonesians have, compared to our own military capability, we are zero, girls. Why? Because we have done nothing also. We've done nothing, we're always depending on the Americans. Or let them take care of us. Hanggang ngayon, up to now. But we have learned now how to take care for ourselves.
They're always using us.
So,
They're not taking care
so all I'm saying is, tayo mga taga-Pangasinano, Lingayen Gulf, Sister Mary John, is home to about 22 municipalities on the West Philippine Sea. There are about 20 coastal towns. And then, they cannot even go to Masinloc. Who of you have heard about Masinloc? I heard because I was born in Lingayen.
Yes.
Okay. Why is Masinloc famous? When I was a child, that's where the prostitutes came from. Because Masinloc is a mining town. It's also a fishing and a mining town. And the moment the men go there to mine the mines, the women follow, of course, because they really, it's not a permanent piece of work. So there is business there for our women. And as a little child, as a 7-year-old, I only knew about Masinloc. We did not call it Scarborough Shoal, whoever that Scarborough is. It's a colonial name, it's the name of an Englishman. But it is Masinloc to those of us who live in that area. Okay. So you have all the towns, Antira may Balaya, Wanmad Baybay, Sister Mary John, Lingayen,
Dasol, Sual,
Alaminos,
Tagupan.
Oh. And this is why Pangasinan is famous as a fishing province. And that is where our livelihood comes from. But what did the Chinese do when the fishermen of Masinloc went to Masinloc to fish? They targeted them with the water cannons. Imagine, water cannons. And what did the Filipinos do? Wala, hindi tayo sumagot, duwag. So I called the Philippine Army wimps at a hearing in the Senate. Of course, they didn't like me for that, but it's okay. Are we wimps? No. I asked Kasmin. He did not answer, so it meant yes. So this is why, to cut a long story short, as if the Chinese have really
taken over,
invaded. And although we might say, don't worry, meron yung aming application sa UN. My dear girls, don't forget the UN is the most political body in this country.
This world.
Don't, I know it because I worked there for 9 years in the secretariat, in the inside, not in the outside. China is a member of the Security Council, a permanent member of the Security
Yes.
Council. It can tell the ambassador of the Philippines, get out. You're fired. Because power speaks. Power speaks. If you are weak, you are really nothing, even in the UN, which respects the equal rights of men and women and of nations large and small. That's what the Charter says.
Supposedly.
But that's on paper. It's not reality. You see. So, anong gagawin natin? They're already there. They're on Recto Bank. And they say Malampaya will finish with its gas 2024. What shall we do? You cannot tell them to get out because they will want to develop Red Bank. And of course, we are hoping that the tribunal will make the decision in our favor. But that's a big question. In the meantime, we have to show something that we do not like what the Chinese are doing to us. Ayun ang kulang ngayon eh. Parang we are so silent. We're not saying anything as if we are happy that we will be taken over.
Right.
What is the response of the Filipino women? That's what we have to show something. So I've been asking G, di ba pwede na at least we will show to the Chinese that we're not so cheap, we're not so easy to, just because they give us siopaw and pancit mami and siomai, okay na tayo? Is that what independence means? No, of course not. Is that what sovereignty means? Of course not. You see. So, yeah, pancit canton and all of these cheap Chinese goods, by the way. Of course, I know some of you are boycotting. Maybe that might affect the Chinese economy, but very little. Because it's a huge economy, but it could help. Any sign of peaceful protest, I think, is important. Okay, now before I go that, I don't want to forget what my other topic is to have an independent foreign policy. And I hope that the Philippine Women's Commission will not just be thinking about development projects. You also think about sovereignty, national integrity, foreign policy, national interest. And don't forget, by the way, as a diplomat, this is what I have learned. We have no permanent friends. We have no permanent enemies. We have only permanent interests. This is correct. I know it's a little harsh, but in the life among nations, in the relations among nations, this is very, very true. Think of the Japanese. Oh, they are our friends now. And yet they really invaded us.
Pinatay pa yung ating mga pamilya.
Look at the Chinese. They were our friends. Now they're invading us because they have permanent interests. Now, of course, should we adopt that? I think we should. But we must live in peace with each other. I don't believe in war. And those of you who experienced the Japanese occupation, I hope you will never experience it again. Those of us who knew war, these young kids, they don't know what war is. But we do, the older ones. And war is a horrible experience of violence and destruction. Useless violence and destruction. So maybe, I won't talk too long, but the Chinese are already here in a very real way. They're only in Palawan. In what is our 200-month exclusive economic zone. This is what the law, international law, gives us. So, shall we just allow them to take over? Should we make a stand? Should we say something to the Chinese? Can we befriend the Chinese women as maybe feminists to make peace, not war? can we talk to the young people of China? What do we do? I think the silence is ominous. It is, for me, very embarrassing. Especially if you come from Pangasinan.
Yes.
Ang gabi, ibabaga tayo, nalasing.
Umol ina, umol.
He just cursed.
Just curse.
Okay. But we have to say something. So this is why I came, and I'm sorry I'm